This is how you throw a perfect left hook. Canelo is not pivoting off his lead foot. Rather, his weight is on his front leg with his rear shoulder forward. Canelo is driving all of his weight from the ground up and rotating his hips and shoulders into the hook. The pivot helps teach you how to transfer your weight and learn proper rotation, but once you have learned that, you do not need to pivot your lead leg to throw a lead hook.
3 words for you. Wrong, wrong, and wrong. That video is 100% wrong, and I'm a fan of Canelo. I definitely have Canelo in my top 5 fighters of, current fighters or whatnot. However, that video is 100% wrong, and this is why you guys cannot listen to everybody on the internet. Y'all cannot listen to all these professionals who are putting the AI behind their voices, making it sound a bit more authentic. That video is 100% false. If that video is correct, then what about people like Roy Jones? What about people like Mike Tyson? What about those great pros before who have actually turned the foot? And I'm going to explain to you why the turning of the foot is mega important. I got into a debate on that thread with those individuals, and the share of people still agreed with what I was saying. However, there were people who were debating that anchoring your foot, and they literally used the word anchor. Anchoring your foot was how to get maximal power out of your hook. Absolutely wrong. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. And I'm going to explain why. Let's get right into this thing, man. This is real interesting. So during my debate debacle on that thread, everybody kept mentioning, or everybody who did not agree with me kept mentioning the word anchor. So when you think about anchor, what's the first image that might pop to your head? A boat, right? A boat drops an anchor in the water to do what? Not only to limit where the boat goes, but to stop the boat completely. So they were talking about the anchor leg. If you're anchoring your leg, in this case, when you're doing boxing and throwing a hook, what are you limiting the motion of? The rotary points in the hips. So therefore, it's limiting the discharge. So yes, I am implying that Canelo Alvarez himself could have hit that bag harder and can throw his hook heavier should he what? Discharge and lift the foot and shift the weight. So I'm going to do this in 2 different angles for you guys. Check it out. This is the leg they were talking about anchoring. So if I throw my hook here, that's the maximal discharge I'm going to get off the hip. I don't care if it's to the body or to the head. No hip discharge or very limited hip discharge, or even injury can be incurred because you can't twist. You're trying to produce force that can't come out of the ground. However, I turn my foot. Yeah, you saw that the hip can actually snap and rotate more and send more force from the ground through the foot, through the hip, and discharge through the arm. So anchored, twisted. Way more snap into that shot when you actually unanchor the foot and turn through the hip. From a sideways perspective, like I taught you all earlier, the weight shift. If you look at that video, Canelo stays over his leg, and as you see my back foot lift up, he stays up, boom, and tries to lean forward and stay in, anchored on that leg. No. How could he produce more power? And don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of Canelo's. Like I said, definitely one of my top 5 boxers currently. However, pros can make mistakes too. So don't put anybody above, actual correction. Everybody can be corrected. So if I sit here and shift my weight, getting ready to throw that hook, and I pull my weight through the hip to the back leg, that's more power produced versus that's just throwing from the hip up. That's discharging from the hip up and not having any type of kinetics coming out of the legs. The legs are your strongest muscle group. So why would you not use them when it comes to throwing a power punch? Make it make sense. So when I'm shooting the hook, when I'm not anchoring my leg, what I'm doing is discharging from the foot up the hip, swaying to the back leg, which actually gets this leg ready to discharge with another shot. So if I load that leg and I throw that hook, and I rotate, guess what? The weight's on the back leg now. So I can respond with my cross, or I can respond with an uppercut, or I can respond with a right hook, boom, or a right overhand, whatever the case is. There has to be constant weight transfer when it comes to throwing these shots. You cannot anchor your feet and think for some reason that you are going to produce the most power out of just a hip rotating shot. You can actually throw your shoulder out of place by trying to commit to a point where you should have committed by turning your foot. Simply turn your foot. And that right there is how you get the maximal discharge of power out of your hook. Always remember the kinetic chain: legs, hips, discharge through the arms. So you've got to activate the legs. No anchor. You anchor if you want to because it looks cool or because it's some fad right now, and you're going to be missing out on a lot of your power benefits. So, like I said, turn the foot. Foot is going to activate the legs. Legs are going to activate the hips, and the hips are going to discharge the power through the arm for you. I hope you like this content. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know what else I can do for you guys to let you know about some good boxing technique, capoeira technique, and maybe even some entrepreneurial advice, because I do this full time. So I hope you all have a good one. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.